Okay, there we go. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you very, very much. I know it's super late in Dallas, and I just really appreciate you taking the time to hop on with us and share your wisdom. So, yeah, I just thought maybe you could kind of start. There's my husband. Hi.
Husband, good job on the headboard.
Yeah, I just thought maybe you could tell a little bit about yourself. We don't want to keep you on here forever since it is so late. And then, guys, as you have questions, you can put them in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself whenever there's kind of a down moment, whatever you feel like is easiest for you. And we'll make sure to, keep checking the chat. So, but Andrea knows a ton. She's been in this business over 3 years and has seen it all and has obviously done really, really well. So all of her trainings are just really, really helpful and insightful. So I'm just really excited for you guys all to hear, and for myself to hear from her. So yeah, maybe you can just start saying a tiny bit about.
I'll tell a little bit about my story. First, in case y'all don't know, the whole reason that we're doing this is because I gave Sarah a challenge last month to hit some numbers, and in case you don't know, she kind of blew them away to her own surprise. And I think that's so much fun. I think y'all got to see what we saw 3 years ago of the harder you push for somebody, whether it's your downline or upline, to hit a goal, all of a sudden your team is exploding and you don't even know what happened, and it's because you weren't focused on your team exploding. You were just focused on all the excitement and the fun and the part of this business that we really love, which is helping people. And whether that's helping people that are already in the business, like helping Amber get to Sapphire, which in turn helped Sarah get to Emerald, and Kristen get to Ruby. It all kind of like went together because y'all were all literally like pouring in, trying to help. And so I'll tell y'all my story, and it's a little nuts, but it'll give you a little background on who I am. First of all, just so you know, kind of a lineage. So Jen Hawkins signed up Celeste Gwynn, and Jen and Celeste are the top 2 ranked people in the entire company. Celeste signed up Rosalind Payne. Rosalind signed up with me, and I'll tell you all that story in a minute. And then I actually knew Amber and Ellen both from church. Funny story, Amber asked me about Plexus, and we were sitting at a book table doing a book, book selling for somebody at church. And she was like, "So what's this thing?" I was like, "Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it." I was so terrified to talk to her because I knew she was super crunchy, and there was no way I was going to be able to answer her questions. So of course, then Ellen, who signed up with me, was like, "I'm taking Volbita." I was like, "All right." And of course, she just explodes. So that's a little bit of how I connect to everybody. 4 years ago, I saw Plexus on Facebook. I saw some friends or some acquaintances posting about it. I thought it was crazy. I thought it was like pink magic in a bottle that was like melting people's fat away and giving them tons of energy. And I was fairly certain because it was pink, it was unhealthy. I can vividly remember some of these pictures that I saw, and I was like, I feel bad for these people that they're having to sell this pink energy drink to make money for whatever reason. So I was not interested, rolled my eyes, super prideful. I told my husband I would stop drinking energy drinks. So I literally assumed it was like Red Bull, but the pink version. And then I saw Roz post about it, and Roz was my boss, golly, now 17 years ago. But we'd stayed really good friends. She'd always been like a mentor to me, and we've met, for the last, 10 years, 3 times a year to eat lunch. Like, she really is someone that's just poured into me in life. And so when she posted about it, I kind of did like a hold the phone. Why are you talking about Plexus? This is like a crappy energy drink that with your health, you shouldn't even be drinking anyways. And she got me a lot of information, and I was interested as a customer. So I bought Slim and Accelerator because I wanted more energy. I have 3 kiddos. Ella is my oldest. She has cerebral palsy. She kind of does life in a wheelchair. She's nonverbal. She's delayed in every way, shape, and form, except for her preteen personality. Seems to be right on track. And then my boys right now, so she's almost 11, and my boys are 9 and 6. So this was, 4 years ago. I'm researching this. I'm exhausted, y'all. I had a little girl that was constantly just needy physically. I had little boys, and my doctor just said, I'm so sorry, you're just going to feel like crap for a while. Like, it's just kind of where you are. And that stunk. But so I thought, well, maybe at least Plexus will give me like a false energy, like some kind of energy, but it won't have all this caffeine in it. And so it'll at least do something for me. So a couple of months later, I got routine blood work done because I felt like crud all the time. And so I was constantly getting blood work done, and my blood work came back really good. And I thought, well, that's weird. And so I called her, and she said, blood sugar regulation, hormones control so much. That's why you're feeling better. I thought, oh, it's not just placebo. Who knew? So I said, what else you got? If that's working, give me something else. So she told me about the probiotic, the BioCleanse, and the X Factor. And as I told you all, we have Ella. And since she was born, we've been told she needs to be on a good probiotic. We tried them all, literally all of them. And they never did anything. She still had urinary tract infections. She still had chronic constipation. Because of those things, we dealt with seizures for years. And so I was like, well, if I'm going to buy a probiotic, I might as well buy it from Roz, help her out because she's working 3 jobs. So I bought the probiotic, BioCleanse, and X Factor from her, really for Ella. And myself, I knew I needed to be really on those products too. And so I thought Ella and I are going to share these, and we'll just see how it goes. And she pooped on her own for the first time in the first 48 hours she was on the products. And I was like, whoa, success. We will continue this for the rest of her life. It's better than Miralax. It's better than Benefiber. If you want to know why, you can message me. It just was the best combination we've ever done. And at this point, it was like 7 years that we've been struggling with this. And so we kept using the products. So about 5 months in as being a customer, my husband's like, dude, how much are we spending on this? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what I was about. A Slim, Accelerator, Probio 5, BioCleanse, and X Factor. So I was probably spending like $200. And, as a preferred customer, he was like, can we get it any cheaper? I was like, not unless I sell it. And he's like, heck no, you stink at that stuff. I'd already done an MLM before Ella was born, and I went into $14,000 of debt. Yay for network marketing, because they required so much inventory. They required me to have practically one of everything they sold always on hand. It was just a bad system. It was a bad setup for me. I never sold any of the stuff. I still found it when we moved 3 weeks ago. So he was like, it's just not something you're, really good at. And so I said, well, here's the deal. It's $35 a year. We're already buying the products. Might as well get them cheaper. We'll probably make back our $35 just in, savings of getting it wholesale. I think I have about 5 friends. I listed people off for him. Ellen was not on that list. I listed 5 people off that I thought might be interested in the probiotic or the energy or just some, health stuff. He was like, yeah, I can see those people buying it. Fine, whatever. He really, to this day, would still say, I thought we were going to lose $35 in this, but oh well. And so I posted the day I signed up. I signed up on November 30th of 2013, and I posted that night. I posted just, hey, I'm joining my friend Roz in this crazy business. So excited, y'all. Our story is incredible. Message me if you want to know more information. And then I just kept posting people's stories over and over and over. Ellen joined me about a month in. I had already gone silver 12 days. I went gold at 6 weeks, senior gold the next month, ruby and senior ruby my 4th month, emerald my 5th month, sapphire, I think 7th or 8th month. I think it's in July, so it's my 8th month of the business, 7th month of the year. I get confused. And then diamond in January, so that was 14 months in the business. And I've held, gone diamond. I guess I'm diamond like 4 times now that I could literally 4,500 points is diamond. So I don't know how many times that goes into my points right now. So it's continued to grow. It's a lot of fun. I think we have 25 jewels on the team now, which is insane. And y'all, it all started because I really had belief in the products. I had very little belief in the business. Sarah probably has a different story, almost probably the counteractive story to that, of having belief in network marketing, but probably wanting to find the right product if she was ever going to do it. I just remember hearing a little bit of their family history from Amber when she was getting started, and just the fact that it was network marketing, in their family, and so they actually believed in it, that it could work if it was the right product and the right person, that it really could be successful. I did not think so. That only a few people ever did success with it. And it was only if they happened to, hit gold, and not our gold, like actual gold. So, I don't know. I believed heavy. And so I want to hear your questions. I want to hear where you feel like you struggle, where you feel like your belief is failing, where you feel like if someone could just give me a little bit of a twist or an adjustment on the way that I do something, I think it would work better. I think one thing that I would just, before the questions start popping up, which y'all can start asking anything you want to. I'm pretty much an open book. That if you haven't done it yet, that you really want to read testimonials. I think whether it's business testimonials or health testimonials, this team probably has a good assortment of both. I know on Amber's team at large, there is a ton of great health and business testimonials. And when I say business testimonial, I don't mean like making crazy money. I mean like we went to the grocery store, and for the first time, we got to buy like name brand toilet paper, and our whole family cheered. We got to go, that's a big deal, y'all. You don't want to go scrimping on toilet paper. There's like some things in life you don't scrimp on. I would say that's one. It's just little things like that. I didn't have to worry about how many diapers we were going to go through because I could afford another pack this month without having to question our grocery budget. We've gotten to increase our entertainment budget and our Dave Ramsey envelopes, and that's huge for, our date nights. It's just those are wins. I would say small wins like that are the only way you get to big wins. You don't go from, I don't know, we'll probably lose $35 to making what you make at Diamond without it being like, oh, this month I can go buy a new dress, and Joe isn't going to be like, dude, seriously? It's like, oh, well, you earned 3 times what that dress cost this month. Go buy a dress. That's great. I want new bookshelves for my office. I don't have to, scrimp and save for that right now. I get to go, oh, my office has a budget, which is stupid. But my office has a budget. I get to go buy bookshelves for it. We just bought a house, so every room has a budget right now. My office just happens to be on my work budget, which is nice. And so, it's the little wins, give yourself little wins. Okay. My biggest struggle is getting people off the fence. And I have so many people interested, but right now when I follow up, I get crickets. Okay. First of all, love your fence. Love the people on your fence. Love the fact that you have people on the fence. And one of the things that I hear all the time is, oh, I can get people off the fence. You always want to at least be like moving people that direction. Like there's kind of like this cycle. And so it's good that you have people there. You never want to be at a point. Could you imagine how bad it would stink if you had nobody on the fence? Like I have nobody I'm currently talking to or trying to close the deal on. So be glad about that. But here's what I would say to those people. And crickets are going to happen, and that's just the nature of the beast. 2 things. Crickets, remember what it was like before you signed up. You just didn't really care. Like you had no urgency in this. You had no urgency in getting ProBio 5 ordered. You had no urgency in the end of the month. You did not know that there was an incentive that somebody was trying to earn. You probably don't even remember what day of the week or what day of the month you signed up on. Like mine was the 30th. I mean, November 30th to sign up, Roz was like, hallelujah, a new ambassador before the end of the month. You probably didn't remember if it was a Saturday night that you signed up and someone's like, oh good, I get a building bonus next Friday. Like you're not thinking about that. All you were thinking about is, oh, I can't sit down long enough to actually do this sign up thing. So I'll do it tomorrow or next week, or when she messages me again, I'll just get it done then. Like there's no sense of urgency. And so you have to be the person that's constantly checking with them. Hey, I just want to make sure there's nothing that you're needing from me. I just want to make sure that, you aren't waiting on me to research anything. Hey, I wanted to send you this new video I just saw the other day. I thought you might love it. Hey, this is something we talked about the other day about not being able to afford the business. And I just saw this post from someone. I wanted to send it your way. Like, are you giving them new information? Are you giving them, did they say, well, I'd really like to do this, but I'm not sure I can afford it yet, or I have to wait till I get paid. Okay, well, let me tell you how you can get paid by our business, that you just need 4 people to buy what you're thinking about buying. And you could make back what you're paying plus $50, depending on what the math looks like. I really think that when you start giving people new information, you start telling them, hey, I just want you to know, May 6th is this huge reveal coming up. You're really going to want to be a part of the business so that you can be a part of the live stream on May 6th. I'd love to get you started now and really familiar with the product. So on May 6th, it makes perfect sense what's going on. I want you to be a part of this crazy day that's about to happen. Hey, I know that, you're crazy busy. Can I sit on the phone with you and just walk you through this? I think it'll be so much easier for you and faster for you if I walk you through this instead of you having to do it all on your own. Why don't you tell me what works? Tomorrow nap time work? Okay, let's do it then. You make it as convenient for them as possible, and you take as much weight off of them and as much responsibility off of them as possible. That doesn't mean you sign up for them. I hear people say all the time, I signed up for her, I had her credit card information, I just did it for her. Then they have no ownership of it. They don't know what you entered in. Hi, sweetheart. They don't know what you entered in. They don't know what, they signed up for. I was talking to someone today, and they said they had someone that they were talking to, didn't even know they were an ambassador because they gave someone their credit card information. They thought they were signing up as a customer, and the person signed them up as an ambassador. Like, you want to make sure you're giving them a little bit of ownership in signing up, but walk them through it. You can screen share like this. If y'all can't see it, there's a little green arrow at the bottom of the screen. If you do a Zoom, like if I was signing Sarah up, I'd get on a Zoom with her and I'd say, okay, you screen share. Let me see what you're doing. Let me walk you through. Okay, you want to make sure you check that box. Okay, let's look through the welcome packs. Let me tell you which welcome pack you want and why. Let me tell you which backup order or convenience order you want to make sure you click, and that we make sure we save your credit card so it ships every month, because that's your personal order. That's not, anything else. And it's April 20th. You won't even get it until we'll set it up for May 20th. So it'll ship the same day next month that your welcome pack ships this month. Those little things are great to do if you can walk them through it. That helps them get off the fence because you've taken a little bit of the burden off of them. And honestly, if none of your fence sitters are talking to you, go find new fence sitters. Go find new people to get up there and get moving, and eventually those people will. I don't know how long it was from the time you heard about Plexus to the time you signed up with Plexus, but generally it's not 24 hours. Generally you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to talk to my husband, which really means I'm going to think about it. I'm not really sure I want to do this, but husbands are a great decoy for most of us to be like, yeah, I'm going to talk to my husband about that. Really, it's kind of like, I want to pray about that. And then you're like, really didn't pray about it. I just didn't want you to think I wasn't interested right now. And so I would just encourage you to just give them as much information as possible. Maybe not every day, maybe once a week, when it really does apply. Say, oh, I just thought about you the other day or tonight, get off the phone and say, girl, I was just thinking about you tonight. I heard this, that, and this, and it just made me think of you, and I cannot wait to have you do this with me. Something that encourages them. I have people quitting because the products aren't working. I'm struggling with how to encourage them to stick with it. Okay, one thing is you might want to start kind of like little note cards and say, this is for Annie, she's my prospect, but write down there what Annie's expectations are. Okay, Annie really wants to sleep better. She really wants, she has some gut issues, some tummy problems when she eats. And you write down what the expectations are. And then that's what we go off of. So next week we'll say, are you sleeping any better? Well, okay, that's good. Is your gut health, are you still having tummy problems? Well, no, I haven't been, I've been going to the bathroom normally lately. Okay, well, that's good. And they haven't even mentioned weight loss. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, I haven't lost any weight. And you're like, okay, we didn't talk about weight loss. You never mentioned before that, well, I'd really like to lose 5 pounds. Okay, well, if you want to lose 5 pounds, let's talk about that now. That's a new expectation. If they come in with the expectation of losing weight, I always think it's a good idea to make sure they know weight loss may not be the fastest result. It really might take 60 days before you start to lose weight. And let me tell you why. Because there's so much kind of junk that we have to get out of your system first before your system will let go of the weight. So your body is holding on to the fat for fear that it's not going to have that absorption. So let's get your gut healthy. Let's get you going to the bathroom regularly. Let's get you some nutritional absorption into your system. And then I think your body will start to let go of some of the weight. Let's get some of your inflammation down. Let's get some of your, your body processing food correctly. And then I think next 60 to 90 days, you can really start to see, maybe a 5 or 10 pound weight loss, but it might take some time to get there. And so if you set those expectations up from the beginning, then they're not 15 days in going, okay, I didn't lose the 20 pounds I needed for the cruise that I was going to go on. And y'all don't laugh, because if you haven't yet, you will have somebody that goes, okay, I'd really like to lose 20 pounds on this. I'm like, I can't guarantee that. And I have no idea what you're eating, how much water you're drinking, if you move or don't move all day long. I have no idea what your genetics look like. I mean, your entire family could naturally just hold weight no matter what they do. And so all of those things factored in make weight loss hard. I know that's what everybody really, really wants, but because it's a natural product, it's really going to take longer than a chemically laden product. And just setting them up for that from the beginning is really important. I have at least 5 people who say they want to join, say they want to do the business. And I say, great, let's do it. And if they don't sign up right then and there, they won't do it and then stop responding to me. It's happened at least 3 times this week and twice last week. I do just like you said. I got 0 response, not even excuses, just nothing. Okay, move on for a short period of time. So give yourself, maybe a week or 2 weeks, get through the big reveal, and then get back to those people. Between now and the big reveal, find new people that you want to get started. There might be a financial thing. Their water heater might have broke. Their money might be tight. Their husband might have lost his job and they don't want to talk about it. You have no idea what's going on in their world. Their son could be working on an awful 3rd grade book report. I'm just saying, it's happened to some of us, where you literally think that your brain might explode if one more thing happens. And it's just not a priority to them. You are not going to be top dog when it comes to the craziness of life. And so I would give them a little break, give them some breathing room. You might even just message them and say, girl, I'm here for you whenever you need me, whenever you're ready to get started. I don't want to bother you, but I do want to be available to you. And that's it. And then you move on to somebody else. You move on to getting somebody else on the fence. This is where I'm going to issue my challenge to y'all, is in the next 48 hours, message 100 people. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm going to show you how. It's going to be a short message. And all you're going to say is, in the next 48 hours, I'm going to tell all these people, in the next 60 to 90 days, Plexus is about to explode again. We have a big reveal coming at May 6th, and we have convention coming up at the end of May, beginning of June. It is going to be insane. If anything piques your interest, or anything that you might have a question about, can I be the person that you ask that question to? Can I be the person you come to if anything on social media about Plexus is ever interesting to you, the products are ever interesting, the business, you just have a question, will you message me? Do it in your voice, however you want to do it, short or long. But message 100 people in the next 48 hours. The first person that messages me and tells me that they sent 100 messages telling people they want to be their person, I will send a gift to. I have some Plexus makeup brushes that are actually MAC makeup brushes that say Plexus on them. It's a whole set. Or I have a 7-day trial. So whoever is the first one to message me can have one of those 2 things. So I already had someone message me tonight from the call I just did. So some people are like on it. Like, I don't know if they even listened to the rest of what I said or if they just got off the call and started messaging people. But I think it's important that as much as we've got going on in the next 60 to 90 days, you want to be the person that they go, okay, now tell me more. I'm seeing this and I don't really understand it. Can you explain it to me better? Or I saw that you posted about this. Since you said I could ask you anything, I'd love to ask you a little bit more about that. But I'm not buying anything or signing up for anything. I just want to understand it better. You want to be a safe place for people to ask questions to and not feel like they're going to be like attacked. Oh, you ready to sign up? It's like, no, dude, I just want to know what the 5 strains of bacteria were in your ProBio 5. I don't want to, actually sign up and do this crazy business yet. And so I would always say, go find new people. That's going to be my answer for a lot of things. And you have people that are stuck on your team, and they won't move, and you can't get them to get to gold, even though you've been training them forever. Go find someone new. Go find someone that does want to go silver and does want to go gold and has this burning desire to do something different. And your other person might find their timing later. A lot of people on my team that took forever to get to silver or gold, and then all of a sudden they found this fire and this groove, and it just worked. So much true to the weight loss. I just passed my 60 days, and the weight is just starting to come off a little at a time. So business is all about timing, and here's the secret. It's about their timing, not yours. I would say there's a good number of people on this team that would say it wasn't my time until it was my time. Like Amber could have pressed Sarah into a lot of things really early on. Amber's really good about not pressing people, but she had to wait for it to be something Sarah really wanted to do. Like, you cannot want it more for somebody on your team than they want it for themselves. And I would say, even on this team, there are people that have gone, oh, you know what? This is really works. I think I'm going to kick this into a new gear. And they do, and it starts to take off. So it's just people's timing. It's what's going on. Someone might get really, really amped up in the summer because they have all this extra time, or someone might get really, really amped up in September when their kids go back to school. Or someone might totally blow it up in January because they had this great, resolution that they've decided. You never know when it's somebody else's timing. My husband lost his job while he was at the shopping spree in October at Leaders Retreat. My husband was actually in a meeting at work that he'd worked at for 16 years and losing his job. And y'all, 3 years ago, Plexus dropped in my lap. Wasn't something I was planning on. Blew up. And now, 3 years later, it carried us through the last 6 months of him not being employed. There was no stress. There was no worry. He could pick whatever job he wanted. He could decide what he really wanted his future to look like. He didn't want to retire. Didn't want to be a Plexus ambassador. He wanted to go do his own thing, but he wanted the freedom to get to decide that. That's because 3 years ago, I made the decision. So the timing 3 years ago was perfect. If I had waited till now, it would have been way too late. There's no way it would have happened like that. So, so be on someone else's timing, not necessarily your own. What do you do when you and tons of people on your team have over 100 mutual friends? Ellen Ford and I have tons of mutual friends. I would say Amber Volbada and I probably have the most mutual friends of anyone on my level ones. Because she grew up at the church that I go to, and that I'm super involved in. Amber kind of got all the people that I would have said were influencers of our church because she already had influence over them. Like she already had connections with them. My sister and I probably before Plexus, my sister was probably mutual friends with 90% of my, friends list. Kim Pollock and I have been friends for 17 years. She and Becky Page were both in my wedding. We had tons of mutual friends. In fact, Rachel Meagle, who was Becky's roommate in college, called me first because she saw me posting about it. Becky wasn't even an ambassador yet. It's just people have tons of mutual friends. I mean, it just doesn't matter. Someone may trust you more or be closer with you or want to learn from you. But what about if you have 100 mutual friends and you have 350 people that you're friends with on Facebook, what about the other 250 people? Like, don't focus on what isn't going to work or what's saturated. Y'all, there's a little tiny private school in McKinney, Texas, about 45 minutes north of me. And I can tell you how small the school is because Roz was just telling me today that the 7th grade class has 35 kids in it. So it's a small private school. It goes K through 12th grade, but it's tiny. And there are 7 diamonds invited to me, and you would think McKinney would be saturated, but y'all, there's still people signing up constantly. And all the little town there, people are growing new teams all the time. It just don't let the word saturation even enter your mind. And don't, when you're doing that 100 list tonight, don't go, oh, I messaged Leisha, but she's friends with Kristen too, so I'm not going to message her because I think Kristen's going to message her. They're in the same Bible study, so we'll probably talk. Just message her. She might message you back and say, Kristen's already talked to me. Sorry, you lost out. But move on to the next person and the next person. Find your group. Find a Bible study that you're in that doesn't have Plexus ambassadors in it. What about your neighborhood? What about the class of your kid? If you have 2 or 3 kids, what about all the different moms in their classes? This summer, what if you're sitting at the pool and you always sit with the same 2 or 3 people and you decide, I'm going to go friend that mom that had this kid's playing with my kid in the pool. I'm going to just go talk to her and see, maybe we can do a play date sometime or something. Like, go find new people. Constantly, I do that all the time. I love meeting new people. If you don't, work on that part of yourself because I promise you're missing out on life if you don't want to meet new people that they'll just change your life because they bring something new into it. The message for my challenge. Okay, so don't do it verbatim because my verbatim is more of a brain dump. What I want, and plus you want to do it in your own voice. But what I think is important is making sure people know that you're available when they have questions about Plexus. There are some exciting things coming up in the next 60 to 90 days with our company. We have a big reveal coming up in a couple of weeks. We have convention coming up, Memorial Day weekend. I want to be available to you if you ever have any questions about anything I post or anything anybody else posts about Plexus. Always feel free to come to me. Let me know if there's anything I can ever answer for you. Really what you want to do is you kind of want to be like that person in the store that has the please ask me for help button on. That's kind of your Plexus button. Like, hey, someone saw that Plexus helps with Plexus helps with migraines. I saw on somebody's post. But they come to you and ask you about it because they said, oh yeah, you'll be my person. So they don't go to that person. They go to you and say, hey, since you're my Plexus person, what's this deal about Plexus helping with migraines? Can you tell me more about that? Whatever it is. Or I heard someone speaking the other day and they were talking about this. Can you tell me about it? You just want to be their person, and you have to figure out how to word that what's the most comfortable for you. I tend to not word things well unless I verbally speak them, so I can kind of laugh through my verbal voice message to people, like, let me be your person, and then I start giggling at myself. What made your business suddenly take off? I had no fear. I had zero fear of what people were going to think about me. I had zero fear about whether people were going to question Plexus or not. I had 110% belief that Probio 5 healed my daughter's gut. And so I knew that Becky Page needed Probio 5. I knew that Kim Pollock would love Probio 5. I knew that my sister needed it, and not for weight loss, but for major IBS. I just knew that it was bigger than me, and I had to tell people about it. And I had people make fun of me. I had a guy who's a minister at our church, not Michael or Barry, although Michael Volbada did unfriend me or unfollow me or block me maybe even for a while because he thought I was so annoying. He might still have me blocked. I'm not totally sure. But I had a minister at our church message or kind of make fun of me on a post like, oh, I wish I could, the miracle pill or whatever. People say crazy, silly kind of sideways remarks all the time about Plexus. And I messaged him privately and said, hey, I've always supported your ministry at church. I've always, anytime y'all ever post anything on Facebook, I always share it. And I want y'all to be super successful. And I'd really love it if you wanted the same thing for me. And he wrote back and was like, I am so sorry. You're right. I shouldn't be poking fun at it at all. If anything, I wish we could harness what y'all done with Plexus and do that with our ministry. I wish we could post on Facebook, every day, and people would just flood in the doors and take over with our ministry. And I had a friend's husband, a very dear friend, whose husband was making fun of it. He owns his own business. And I messaged him and said, I've always supported your business. I've always sent people your way. Anytime y'all are doing anything, I always share it. Will you do the same for me? You know how much these products have changed Ella's life. It's not snake oil. And Joe would never let me do this if he didn't believe in it. So will you just support me? And you don't have to support me by actually sharing what I'm doing or buying it, but just support me by being, in my corner. And he brought me flowers and a card that night to my house and truly felt sorry because he knew as a private business owner how hard it is to have people believe in you. And I sent those messages sincerely. I didn't send them, maliciously. I didn't send them with any hate or, anything. I was just like, please support me. I would love to support you too. But I had no fear. I never backed down on, oh, maybe I shouldn't be selling Plexus. No, Becky Page called me and told me I was crazy. She was like, first of all, does Joe know what you're doing? I was like, yes. She was one of my best friends. She's my bridesmaid. She's known Joe longer than she's known me. Does Joe know what you're doing? Or do you need to call him? I was like, he knows what I'm doing. She goes, you're selling weight loss on the internet. I was like, I'm not selling weight loss on the internet. I was like, Becky, just go research it. Go research the probiotic. That's all I want you to research. She's like, fine, I'll go research that, but I'm not going to take it or anything. I was like, all right. So she would call me, like, ask me questions about it. I'm like, You know, and eventually she got it. Like, she was like, it's really a good probiotic. I was like, okay. She's like, I'm not going to sell it or anything, but I might buy it from you. I'm like, that's fine. By the way, your college roommate and your best friend here in Dallas are both calling me, asking me if they can join my team. So do you want in or not? And she was like, yeah, I think I want in. Y'all, it happened because I had full belief. I wasn't pressuring anybody. I knew the products worked. I knew the business worked fairly quickly. I knew people needed it. And it just took off. I mean, if you know Ellen's story at all, Ellen's pretty much called me and told me she thought I'd been hacked on Facebook. And then when she realized I hadn't been hacked, she thought I was nuts. And then she was a little curious about what I was doing. So she kept asking me questions. And by the end of the call, she had signed up as an ambassador and hadn't even told Barry that she had done it. And then she like hid it from him. People were it was so funny. And as soon as she told one person about it and they signed up too, she was making money and she's like, I'm taking off with this. It all culminated fast. Here's one thing to remember. I had all of my runners fast, even Amber, Ellen, Angie Zumwalt, Rachel Neagle and her whole team, Becky's team, Ford, my sister, they were all there early. They all caught the vision really early. And I think part of that was my excitement. I didn't care whether they jumped on or not. I was going to do it. And I think if you have just a little bit of that, if you can cast a little bit of vision for yourself and for other people, people can see the possibility. What if these products work? What if it really does, help me feel better? What if it really does make me, a better mom just because I'm more attentive and I have a longer fuse and I have, just a better outcome on the day. And so those kind of things are why I think my business went really fast. Did someone write that down? What to send to 100 people? I hope I helped. And y'all can go back and listen to the recording. Since Sarah's recording it, I do talk really fast. Sorry. Can you describe? You're on. I thought you weren't getting on. Can you describe a low point in your business and what you did to overcome it? Okay, so probably the hardest thing in my business was between Sapphire and Diamond. It took me 7 months, which sounds stupid, except it took me 7 months to go from the day I started to Sapphire. So it felt crazy to me that Sapphire to Diamond was taking so long. And what I did is I looked at my number of active ambassadors, people that actually had their backup order at the time, now convenience order, turned on and ordering every month. And that number never changed. Every month we could add 500 people, but it was like we were losing 500 people at the same time. So if you've ever felt like, I just gained 5 people this month, but I just lost 5 people too, I don't know where I'm losing them from. They're just gone. If you are at that place, it's what we call attrition. My attrition was so high because our fast-moving train had started to kind of run. People were falling off the train. And here's why. We weren't wrapping our arms around them and loving them as customers. We really weren't saying, okay, let me walk you through the products for the next 60 days. We were literally like, oh, good, you're signed up. Okay, get going. Next person. Okay, you're signed up. Okay, good luck. And we were literally just like throwing people out there because for so long it had worked for us. The momentum, the excitement had worked for us. The just throwing new ambassador training on the page on a daily basis worked really well in the beginning. But what we forgot is all of those people are customers. Every single ambassador that signs up on your team, even if they sign up to build a business, they are still a customer. They still need to be handheld. They still need to make sure their products are getting to them, that their products are working, that they still love their products, that they're sharing what they love about their products, that they're making a list, that they're contacting the list. All of those things are important. If you are kind of going, okay, well, good luck, let me know how that ambassador thing goes. I mean, it's your own business, so you got this. That just isn't going to get anybody bought in. There are a few people that are self-starters. Ellen Ford, full-on self-starter. I know on this team there are some incredible self-starters, but that's not everybody. In fact, I would say it's a very small minority. And because it's a minority, the rest of us have to work really, really hard to love our customers well. And by customers, I mean retail, preferred, or wholesale. Any of those things, you have to, constantly, at least still once a month after the first 60 days, check in and say, hey, are you still loving your products? Hey, I see that your preferred order ships next Thursday. Anything you want to switch up? You want to try Eds this month? How awesome, I think you'd really love it. Or have you tried Block yet? Oh, you're not liking the Accelerator Plus. You want to switch it to Boost and see if you'd like Boost better. Have those conversations with people. Oh, you're not going through all 30 packets of your Slim. I hate it when people tell me they have so much product left over. If you're not going through all 30 packets of your Slim, why? If you want me to, I'll send you a reminder every morning, a little text message says, have you had your pink drink? Just things to get them in the routine. I think the thing people probably had the most left over of is BioCleanse because the bottles are huge. So say, let's put a hold on your BioCleanse. And since we're going to hold it this month, let's switch it up and put block in there and see if you like that this month since you're putting a hold on your BioCleanse. Just little things. Love them well as a customer service rep. And that goes the same for the people that do want to run the business. Are you pouring into them videos from other people? Are you connecting them to, Amber's incredible list of, y'all, she's the most organized person in our entire team. If you don't know that, out of my 25 jewels, Amber Volbada's brain works like a machine. It is the most incredible, she's type A, I get it, but she's the most incredible organized person. She has this Dropbox that everyone's like, can I get a hold of that? It's like a secret, like magic, treasure box that everyone wants access to. So the fact that y'all have access to that brain is insane. Please take advantage of it. Every document you ever need is updated and available to you because Amber makes sure of it. And so, having that just out there is so important. You have access to new ambassador training because I know she has the document. I know she's done a document for everything. So you have it at your fingertips. I just want you to use it. So maybe tell me, what part of new ambassador training do you feel like you get stuck on? Do you get stuck helping them find their why, making their list of 100, telling them how to contact people, telling them how to follow up, pouring belief into them? Tell me maybe what you get stuck on new ambassador training, because I have a feeling y'all been trained, y'all at least have the document available to you to know what those steps look like. Let me read what's next. So low point in my business is attrition. Always, always, always still to this day, attrition. Although y'all will be happy to know our entire team of people, I was talking to someone at corporate yesterday, and they said that based on the size of our team, we have one of the least, I don't know what the word is there, the least attrition team, the team with the smallest amount of attrition for the size that we are. So that's a really good thing. I know individually it may not feel that way, but as a whole team, I would say that maybe we're doing something right, and just to plug into that. When you do start to build a team, how do you not get overwhelmed? It's so much, yes. Would you say your team is your first priority, adding your own people, checking in with customers? So when you're growing a team, the thing is you never want to let go of the people that have already actually joined you. So they already are in, they already know that they want to be a part of it in some way, shape, or form. So that's a really big priority. But you never want to focus so much on those people that you're forgetting to bring new people in, because a lot of times we can get focused on trying to get 4 people to silver that we forget we haven't added anybody new, and now we don't have anybody else to get to silver. And so the balance is really hard, and it might help if you just break up your day. 15 minutes of team building, 15 minutes of video, 15 minutes checking in on back office, setting goals with somebody, doing a call for them, and something like this. Just do 15 minutes a day. And even if it's just, I used to do 2 to 5 minute videos once a day for my team of just somebody asked me a question, so I might as well answer it to the whole team. Then 15 minutes of reaching out and doing your own IPA, maybe 30 minutes, because IPA is really, really important. It takes more time than you think it does. And then checking in with customers, set them up on your phone. Like set them up and say, okay, Rachel's shipment or Rachel's preferred customer order will go out on the 24th. So on Friday the 21st, I'm going to put her in my calendar to message her and say, hey, your preferred order goes out on Monday. How are you liking everything? Just checking in with them. And I know what your biggest fear is. Your biggest fear is they're going to want to cancel it. Their biggest fear is if I check in with them, they're going to ask me a question I can't answer, or they're going to say, oh, it does ship on Monday. Yeah, I don't want that. The thing is if you're talking to them consistently, you will know why. If you've already talked to them last week and you know that they're, really loving their ProBio 5 and they're sleeping really well, then it won't be a big shock to them that their order's coming up on Monday. You're already having those conversations. But checking in with them is something that's great to just put in your reminders on your phone or on your calendar on your phone. And then you can set a reminder. Well, I have an iPhone, so I can set a reminder that says alert, and it can alert me, the day before or 30 minutes before. So I actually take the time to stop and send them a voice message. A voice message is only 1 minute on Facebook Messenger. Try to only send one, because otherwise it's like the world's longest answering machine ever in the history of ever. And so just send them a 1 minute voice message and say, hey girl, just checking in with you. I'm running into the grocery store and you popped in my mind. I wanted to make sure that you didn't have any questions or need anything. I'm always here for you. Can't wait to hear back. Like, that's it. You don't have to go into a long, okay, I really hope you're taking your ProBio, 2 in the morning and 2 at night. You've already had those conversations. So just a check-in is so in and out, and that'll make it go faster. But yes, the answer is I do get overwhelmed. I just have to compartmentalize some days. At the beginning, I sacrificed a lot. The first 6 months of my business were a huge sacrifice to my family. It was a fast-moving train, and they got run over a lot. But right now, I don't know if my husband would say he would do it the exact same. We probably would have talked more about it. I probably didn't talk to him for fear that he would tell me I couldn't continue going at that pace. But if you are talking to your spouse and having real conversations about how much time you're spending with Plexus, just ask them for permission of, a call like tonight, or, hey, do I have your permission, while you're bathing one of the kids, to make a phone call? Do you mind? Ask for permission. It seems to go really, really well. And that was my biggest problem when I started on being overwhelmed. Yeah, my coach, who is your coach? Is your coach Dave Walker, Sarah?
Michelle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, your team is pretty awesome, so I'm sure your coach pretty much loves it. How much time a day do you spend working the business? It looks so different now than it did. It looks different at different phases. And today, I talked to Becky Page this morning for a little while, but she's also one of my best friends. So I have a hard time calling that business. I'll say this. I spent an hour today working on my IPA book thingy. I have tons of names all in the corners, and then I moved over to a spiral because I ran out of room. So I spent probably an hour today doing IPA. This is my second hour of Q&As. I'll probably spend an hour working on an opportunity meeting after we're done here, because I'm flying out to Baltimore tomorrow. So that kind of changes the way I do it. But then I take my kids to school. I went to lunch with Roz. I don't know if you consider that work. We went and got our hair blown out. So I'm spending time with Plexus people, but I'm not necessarily doing Plexus work. Does that make sense? IPA probably takes me an hour a day. Training probably more than that, but I have 30,000 people on my team. Not that I have to train them all, but I do like to pour into as many as possible. So that takes up a lot more of my day. Here's what's interesting. I saw something the other day. Someone said, diamond DMO, so do a diamond daily method of operation. And I would say no. Do a silver daily method of operation. A silver is the perfect person to model after, because they are constantly reaching out. They're constantly posting. They're constantly looking for a new business builder. They're constantly training a person and then moving on to the next person. They're not spending too much time on team training. They're spending just enough because they don't really know that much. So they're just giving you basics. And I really think if we stick to the basics and we don't try to go so big and grandiose, I think you will do a better job. So don't try to mimic my DMO now. Try to mimic my DMO 3 years ago. And what it was I answered questions all day long. What is Plexus? What is Plexus? I answered that question, and I answered it because I was posting all the time. Do you always add at least 3 people a month? I try to continue to do IPA, but I have far less interest than I used to. No, I don't. I'll have months where I can add 3. I tend to do better when there's an incentive. So in October, November, maybe December, we had incentives running. I tend to work more on my IPA when there's an incentive. Lately, I've been working more on team growth because my goal right now is to get as many people to Maui as possible. And so that's not really growing my personal business. That's growing my team, helping my teams grow, pouring into y'all. And so it'll change. I mean, convention credits help. I love pouring into convention. I mean, I love contests like that. I don't know what kind of your drive is. My drive is carrots dangling in front of us. If there's an incentive, I mean, I won the shopping spree 3 times, and that was a big motivator for me to even sign up. That will be a big motivator the second that Leaders Retreat credits come out. That will be my goal. I don't drop my goal below that. That will be my goal, is the shopping spree for the 4th year. And so I will do a lot more IPA because I will need more level 1s working it and adding. But I mean, I worked really hard on IPA today. I'd really like to add 2 new people this month to my re-entry leg. I'd like to grow that leg. It's been sitting at gold for almost 2 years. So if you're sitting there, me too. It's hard. It's not easy. I wouldn't say what we do is easy, but it is simple. I mean, we make a list, we contact the list, we follow up with the list, and that's kind of our job. So if you stick to what's simple, it's so much easier. I talked to someone today who wanted to sign up as an ambassador to get BioCleanse and ProBio5 at wholesale cost. How can I gently tell her to just be a preferred customer? Show her the price breakdown. So show her the cost at wholesale and show her the cost at preferred, that they're not that different. She's going to pay $35 to get, I think, a $10 difference. It really does benefit you more for her to stay as a preferred customer. Sarah is looking for phone numbers. If you are a 209 phone number, message her. She wants to know who her peeps are. What else? Do y'all have any other questions at all? I can help answer anything. I will say that add 3 people a month, I probably need to total it. I probably added 80 people in the last 3 years. So probably on average, I've probably added 3 people a month. A lot more of them were early in the beginning than now. I mean, if I set my goal to add 3 people this month, I would do it. Like, I don't have a doubt I could add 3 people this month. It's just not my priority. It does take time. I get what y'all are doing. It takes effort. It's a lot of follow-up. It's a lot of messaging out. But it's worth it when you find someone. Every time you're adding new people, you're finding someone that really wants to grow this business. And that residual income is insane. If you could tap into the fact that if you could find 3 people that really want to do this business and are willing to run with it, you're making residual income on, and you're not having to do all of that yourself. It's so freeing. I make more now than I did 3 years ago. A lot more, and I probably put in the same amount of time. It breaks down differently, but I probably put in the exact same amount of time or less than I guess I was trying to go Emerald this time 3 years ago, so I was putting in a ton. I probably never slept, and it's probably all I did all day long, my poor house. So I would say I work less now than I did going to Emerald, and my paycheck is quadrupled more. So it's pretty lucrative if you can get a team behind you. That's your goal. Your goal is to get 3 people moving forward. Like, not that you're dragging, that are actually moving forward, adding people every month. The highs and lows are so extreme. It's a roller coaster. And Melissa Eichenhorst, if you ever watch her train, there's a great training video on the emotional roller coaster of network marketing, where you literally in the morning can be like, oh, someone messaged me overnight. It's the best day ever. And then you're like, oh, they saw my message. I wrote back to them. They didn't say anything. Oh, but we just got, an incentive, out in the, oh, but no one's responding to any of my messages I've already sent for. I mean, it literally in one day can be like, whoosh, whoosh. You should stay the course of, I just know that what I'm supposed to do is what I'm supposed to do, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and stick to that every single day. I feel like I end up wasting time scrolling Facebook to find new people to reach out. Reach out to people's posts to comment on and follow up with. How do you keep from doing this? Do it in the bathroom, because at least you're occupied. I mean, you kind of have to go. You might as well just spend use your bathroom time scrolling Facebook. commenting on people's things, screenshotting people you want to talk to later, you're kind of can't go anywhere. So it's a good time to get work done, honestly. A bathtub. In car line, if you get there, I don't know how y'all's car line is, but I've heard of car lines you have to get there an hour early because they don't, as soon as they open the car line, it takes like an hour to go through, which is the craziest thing I've ever heard. And I don't know about y'all, but I dread going into the grocery store. So I have been known to sit in the grocery store parking lot for a good 15, 30 minutes and be on Facebook or I will do some major IPA to avoid having to go into the grocery store. Just any of those things. Find little snippets of your day. You don't have to, I gave myself permission tonight to not actually read my news feed, but to scroll through and scroll past all the Plexus people, and just write down names of people that are non-Plexus for my list. You probably have a lot less Plexus people than I do. So bless you in your news feed, because mine is overrun with Plexus. Yes. Anything else? Can y'all think of anything? I don't know what time it is. Oh, it's 11:05. I've got to pack and go to Baltimore tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Andrea. And I did not know that you were like getting on a plane tomorrow. So my gosh, I'm so thankful that you were willing to hop on. And just because you guys didn't know, you obviously saw the last minute time change, and I just totally screwed up. And we were actually supposed to be doing this call next Thursday, and Andrea was sweet enough to be like, no. She rolled with it, and anyway, I had no idea how sweet she was really being. But thank you so much. And I loved everything you said, and definitely wrote notes down. I'm really excited to send out those messages to that 100 people. I love that. Like, I want to be your Plexus person. I think that's a brilliant line. So thank you everyone else too for hopping on. There's a ton of people on, which is really exciting. So, and I will, as soon as we end, I'll get this uploaded and get it on my team page. So, but yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, and have a great trip.
Thank you. Bye y'all. See y'all in Minnesota.
Thank you guys.